2 days on this for sure. 10.2. This is the lesson that we start talking about arithmetic sequences a little bit more, and then we throw the series in there too. So here we go. All right, so the definition of an arithmetic sequence, specifically now, the nth term a sub n of an arithmetic sequence in which the first term is a sub 1 and the common difference d is given by the following formula. They changed that formula that we talked about yesterday. They basically move some things around, distribute. This one's a little nicer to work with. This is the one you guys will probably work with for the most part for the rest of this chapter, honestly, this lesson. Okay, and that's a sub n equals a sub 1 plus d times the quantity, whatever n is, minus 1. All right. Now, I'm just going to make up a sequence real quick. Let's go. I was going to go 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, but sure. 1, 3, 9, 11, and on and on and on, right? Okay. So 1 obviously is the first term, right? In that sequence. It's a sub 1. No big deal there. The nth term, a sub n. So the nth term means whatever term you're talking about. It can change. Okay, if you're talking about the second term, this would be a sub 2. If you're talking about the fifth term, it'd be a sub 5. If you're talking about the 27th term, it'd be a sub 27. This n, this little n here, will always be a number representing which place in the sequence it's talking about. Okay? So for example, if I said what's n sub 4, you all would say what? 7. 7. Fourth term in the sequence. Okay, 1, 3, 5, 7. Boom, there it is. Okay, so the nth term is a sub n, which just means whatever term in the sequence you're talking about. Alright, makes sense? Okay. Let's see, arithmetic sequence, I think everything else makes sense. These n's are the same. This one, the subscript of n here, and this n right here. Okay, so if you're talking about the 7th term, this would be a sub 7, and this would be 7 minus 1.
Is it 7 the 4th term?
No, the 7th term. Not 7 as a term, the 7th term.
Yeah, I don't get it.
Yes, you do.
No, I really don't.
7 is the 4th term.
So is the n a 4 or
N here would be 4. If I said what's a sub 4, you would say 7, right? I said what's the 7th term. There's a difference. 7 is the 4th term, right?
What if 4 is the 7?
So
That'd be weird.
Is D 4?
D is 2. D is the difference.
Oh, okay.
Here, let's go one more. 11, 13, bless you. Okay.
Alright, so A sub n.
Here, hold on. A sub 4 is 7, right? A sub 7 is 13.
Got you.
Okay?
So for the a sub n thing, you put a 7.
Whatever you're putting.
I'm just giving examples of what they are. Okay? This a sub n represents the placing of the term. Not the term itself, the place in line where it is. Okay? Whenever I say what is that, and you say 7, that's the term itself. Okay? So a sub 4 is talking about the 4th number in the sequence, which is 7. But then when I go say a sub 7, that's talking about the 7th number in the sequence, which is 13. Okay? Makes sense on the difference? Because it is confusing.
So would you write it 13 then? If you were writing out the
Yes.
formula?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so we're going to find the 12th term of the arithmetic sequence that goes 9, 16, 23, 30, ... Okay? Now, remember, it's this. You can figure out the difference, and you can add them up. On your test, it's not going to be the nice 12th. It's going to be, like the 276th. Because if
My
you
other question.
add the D's up, 236 times, that'll be the only problem you get done. All right, Max?
If I'm going to find the 12th term, what does n stand for in the equation?
That's what I'm getting to. Okay? That's what I'm getting at. Okay? All right?
Why do I feel like I've learned this before?
You might have.
I feel like I definitely learned
Okay.
it.
You might have. This is an algebra one. The arithmetic sequences are, yeah. Maybe not as much as maybe there. I know. Tomorrow we'll do something that's not in the Algebra 1 book, but some of this is in the Algebra 1 book. Okay. So first thing you want to do is get your difference. So from 9 to 16, from 16 to 23, from 23 to 30, D equals what? D equals 7. All right. And then you use the formula that we just had. A sub n equals A sub 1 plus D parentheses n minus 1.
Wait, I'm confused how we got 7.
That's the difference. That's the common difference. 9 to 16,
Oh, the common difference.
16 to 23, 23 to 30.
Yeah.
All going up by 7. All right? Now, A sub 1 is what? 9. Okay, first term, 9. We figured out D to be 7, right? Okay. Now, the 12th term means you want the 12th number in place. All right, 12th number in line. Let's go with that term, that word. 12th number in line. So this becomes A sub 12. All right. So n is 12. This n is 12. So 12 minus 1.
That makes sense.
Okay. Do your order ops. 12 minus 1 is 11. 11 times 7 is 77. 77 plus 9 gives you A sub 12 to equal 86. So the way what this is meaning is that A sub 12, if you went down this sequence to the 12th spot, you would find 86. Okay, that's how it works. So yes, your variables will possibly have numbers with them now, because think about this, like you had to generalize sequences. Okay, you can't be like, okay, the first one we don't know is going to be A. The second one's going to be B. The third one's going to be C. The fourth one's going to be D that you don't know. Holy crap. You're never going to get anything done that way. So that's why this is so late in the year, because now you have to understand that the subscript just tags along with the variable and goes with it. Okay? The next slide. All right, so write an equation for the nth term of each arithmetic sequence, which is this one, 5, negative 13, negative 31. And we know our equation is A sub n equals A sub 1 plus D, parentheses, n minus 1. All right, we know A sub 1, bless you, which is 5. Yay, first term. And we also know what?
Distance
Is negative 18, okay? And that's all you need. Okay, to write that equation, that is literally all you need, because we won't know what place we're talking about. That's what we want. We want an equation for the nth term, which is this A sub n from the last 2 slides ago, remember? So we won't know this, meaning we won't know this n either. So that's all you need. Plug it in, solve it up. All right, so A sub n equals A sub 1 was 5 plus negative 18 times n minus 1. Distribute that negative 18, so 5 minus 18n plus 18, and then like term. So A sub n equals negative 18n plus 23. Okay?
So what's level 4 we don't need to know anymore?
Not really.
But it would work.
Well, yeah.
Start by teaching us this one.
All right, so write an equation for the nth term. So you want to do the same thing you did last time. Okay? You want to do the same thing we did last time. We want to write that equation. But now you're given different things. All right, so now you're given that D is 6, and you're given one of the terms, and you're told what place that term is. So you're told that A sub 5 is 19. So you're getting told that the 5th term is 19. All right, this is probably the hardest one of what you've seen today. All right, there's something, we need to know one thing that we're missing, and that's what? Anybody got it? We need to know the first term. Okay, you have to know the first term for the equation to work. Okay, so everything we have up there is actually enough to go back into our formula and solve for A sub 1. Okay?
Would you subtract just 30?
Yeah, shh. Well,
kept hitting minus.
Okay, yes, yes, I know, you can get there. But once again, what if I put on your test the a sub 272 is
Wow, it's gonna be
huge,
You
okay?
give me the distance, wouldn't I just multiply that by 272? Because if it's a sub 1 and it's 1, I would just multiply it by whatever it is.
Okay, go with it. Or get used to the formula you're going to have to use, one of your two. So a sub 1 plus. You know D right there, so a sub 1 plus 6.
Oh, wait.
You know that the minus 1 tag's there, right? That's been that binomial. Okay?
Wait, this is
So we don't know this, and we don't know this part. All right? This out here is what? 19, because it's that a sub. Okay. So then this will be 5, because it's the fifth one. Yeah, okay. Makes sense on where everything goes. All right. Clean up, distribute, or clean up, multiply, solve it up. So 19 equals a sub 1 plus 24. So a sub 1 equals -5. And then go back in, now that you know your first term, take your first term, take your D, and write your equation. All right? So a sub n equals -5 plus 6 times n minus 1. A sub n equals -5 plus 6n minus 6. So your equation will be a sub n equals 6n minus 11. Okay. New definition. That being arithmetic means. Sometimes you're given two terms in a sequence, but they're not in sequential order. They're not consecutive. That means there's some missing terms in the middle. Those missing terms are called arithmetic means. Okay? They're the missing terms between two terms that you are given in a sequence. Okay? Summed up, right? The terms between any two non-consecutive terms of an arithmetic sequence, called arithmetic means. You can use these, though, to find the missing terms. Okay? That can be done. All right? Now, to be honest, I told you guys that there's formulas for this chapter. There's programs that you can make and write for these. To be quite honest, I mean, you can write the program. That's fine. You can write your program for your formulas. I get that. I understand that. That's fine too. But they're easy. They're easy formulas. You know what I mean? They're pretty easy formulas that we're going to work with today in the rest of the chapter. So they're not super hard. I'm not saying it'll be a waste of time to program it, but it's up to you, okay? Everybody good up here? Mm-hmm. Okay. So, we are going to find the arithmetic means in the sequence from -8 with 1, 2, 3, 4 blanks to 22. All right. Now, the key, and this is actually very, very key, this should happen every time. There's no comma and no ... to the left of -8. See that? It's -8. So you can safely assume -8 is the first term. Okay? And it actually has to be the case. And they should be for these, I believe. Okay? Now, if you look at these, you have one term here. How many terms missing? 4 terms missing, so this would be the 5th term, right? And 22 would be what term? The 6th term. So we know what a sub 6 is. It's 22. All right. So we know that our a sub is 22. We know our a1 is -8. Plus, whoops. We don't know d. Okay. We don't know how we go from here to here to here to here 4 times, and then we get to 22. Okay. Now, if you think about it, you can figure it out from there, but use the formula just in case it's a longer missing gap of numbers. Okay. But you do know that you have the 6 terms that you're given and the -1 from your formula. Okay, you know all that. So all you need to do, solve for D, and then fill in your blanks. So 22 equals -8 plus 6 minus 1 is 5, 5D. Add 8 over, you get 30, divide by 5, so D equals 6. All right, and then you can start filling in. So remember the question is find the means, find the blanks. So from -8 to 6 would be -2. -2 add 6 would give you 4. 4 add 6 gives you 10. 10 add 6 gives you 16. And then just to make sure you're right, do 16 plus 6 to give you 22. Moving.
Do that one?
I was always going to show you that one. Okay. Moving on to series, which is a new term. Okay. A series is formed when the terms of a sequence are added all together. And this is what we're going to spend the rest of the day on, is the arithmetic series. An arithmetic series is the sum of the terms of an arithmetic sequence. So now you're taking all these terms that are in line and you're adding them all together. Okay? Now, that could take a while if you just do it term plus term plus term plus term plus term plus term plus term. So thankfully, some mathematician many moons ago came up with equations for it. All right? Now, the sum of all these terms is denoted S sub n. The sum of however many terms. That's what the n means. The n is however many terms you have in the sequence. S is sum. Okay? Now, the book gives you two formulas. A general formula and an alternate formula. You need to know the general. Okay?
Does it say
And
A
I
sub n? I can't read that.
Yeah, a sub 1, a sub n. You need to know the general formula. I haven't found one yet that cannot use the general formula. Okay? I don't think there is one. Because for both of them you have to know a sub 1. For both of them you have to know a sub n. And then the alternate you have to know what D is also. The general one you don't. Okay, so I haven't found one yet where you cannot use the general and you have to use the alternate. If one comes up, if you guys find one or if I find one, I/you let me /you know. Catch on to that? Okay, I haven't found one yet. All right, so if you know the general formula, which is a pretty basic formula, right? S sub n equals n times the quantity a1 plus an divided by 2. It's a pretty basic, straightforward, not complicated formula, okay? Whoops. All right, everybody got that down? Everybody good? Yes, yes. Fantastic. Moving on. Okay, so we're going to find the sum of the sequence, 12 plus 19 plus 26 plus a whole bunch of terms that I don't feel like listing, plus 180. Alrighty. Now you know some things. What do you know? You know D. What's D? D is 7. Okay. So 12 to 19 plus 7. 19 to 26 plus 7. What else do you know? You know A sub 1, which is 12. What else do you know that you need to know? This one's tricky. A sub n, which is G segment of what? 180. You know a random term way out here. Okay? And you know the last term. And that's the key, because what we need to figure out is exactly how many terms is it between 12 and 180. Okay? So we know what a sub n is. We just don't know what n is. Make sense? So then you can plug these all into their formula we used yesterday, solve for n, take that n, take your a sub 1, plug it in, and finish.
What is n?
N is the number, the term,
So 180.
whichever term.
Oh, okay.
N is the term placement.
Oh, so like it'd be
A sub N is 180.
It'd be 180.
Nope, just 180. All right. So your formula from yesterday, 180 equals A sub 1 of 12 plus your D is 7 times the quantity N, which you don't know, minus 1. Okay. See, we know what the term is itself. We just don't know what place it is. We don't know if it's in 8th place, 10th place, 27,000th place. We don't know. So that's what we're trying to find. We're trying to find what place in sequence, in line, is 180. Because you need to know that. Okay? From there it's an easy solve, right? Subtract 12, which is 168, which gives you equals 7n minus 7. Add 7, divide by 7, n equals 25. Okay. So there's 25 terms in this sequence that we're adding up. So now we know that, which we need. Because now we can go use the formula we just learned and find the sum of those 25 terms. And the way you do that is 25 times A sub 1, which is 12, plus what ends up being A sub 25, which is 180, divided by 2. Make sure you do 12 plus 180 divided by 2 first, and then multiply by 25, and it gives you 2400. That's going to be. Okay, these numbers are going to be fairly large.
So is this saying what place it's in?
That no, 25, this here,
That's the place.
is the place that 180 is in.
Okay.
2400 is summing every term of this sequence from 12 through 180.
Okay.
So 12 plus 19 plus 26 plus all the terms inside those dots plus 180.
I thought you were saying that was the place where
No. Nope. Okay, makes sense?
Yeah.
Those two formulas is what you really need, all right? Good? All right. These two I want you guys to try. Okay, we need to take time on these two. All right, so go ahead. All right, so the first one, exactly like the last one, right? What you're given, everything. So A sub 1 is, whoops, come on, iPad work. There we go. So you're given A sub 1 being 2. D you figure out to be 2, and A sub n is 100. Plug them in, solve for n. So 100 equals 2 plus 2 times n minus 1. And if you know anything about the numbers you're trying to find, you know how many numbers are in the sequence, which is how many? 50. You're finding the even numbers between 2 and 100. Congrats, okay? They won't always be like that, right? Okay, so you won't. All right, but yeah. So then you know it's 50. So now you're finding the sum of the first 50 terms. Here's a little trivia for you. Equals 50, parentheses, 2 plus 100 divided by 2, which ends up giving you S sub 50 equaling 2550. Alright. On your second one, what do you not know that you need? You don't know A1. Alright, you don't know the first term of the sequence. You know how many terms there are, which is 16. You know your last term, which is 240. You know the distance between each term, which is 8. So now you need to figure out which term is first before you can do anything else. Same formula though, right? 240 equals, now we're solving for A sub 1, plus 8 times 16 minus 1, which ends up giving you A sub 1 to be 120. You plug it in, so sum of your first 16 terms is 16 times 120 plus 240 divided by 2, which gives you 2,880, yes? Okay, can't read my own handwriting over here. Okay, so now, find the first three terms of the arithmetic sequence in which a sub 1 is 7, a sub n is 79, and s sub n is 430. Okay, we know one of the terms, right? It's what?
7.
7, good. See, you're a third of the way there already. Congrats. That's how easy this is. I already gave you one of the answers. It's 7. What we don't know is what?
The distance.
We don't know the distance between the two terms, and we also don't know what? We don't know n. We don't know the number of terms it is from 7 to 79. Therefore, we don't know how many terms we're adding up to give us 430. Okay? That is a problem. If you look then at your two formulas, okay, the two that we've been using, on the one, you don't know n. We don't know n or d, right? We don't know either one. So the first one we learned, the kind of the a sub n equals 1, that one, that's got, we need to know both n, we need to know at least one of them, right? N or d. Okay? The other one, your s sub n one that we just learned, we know everything in there except n. We know that the sum of all these terms is 430. What we don't know is how many terms are there. We know the first one is 7. We know the last one is 79. And we always know that we're going to divide this guy by 2. Okay, see that, how all the parts fit? Alright, so we get 430 equals 7 plus 79 divided by 2 ends up giving you 43. So 43n. So n equals 10. Okay. So now we know there are 10 terms between 7 and 79. We still don't know how far a jump it is from one term to the next, though. Right? Everybody with it? But now that we know what n is, we know how many terms, we can turn around and take that into your first equation.
So 79 is the 10th term?
Yep.
Okay.
Then solve for d. Okay. Everybody good? So 79, subtract 7 gives you 72. 10 minus 1 gives you 9. D. So D equals 8. Whoops, that was a terrible 8. Let's try again. Woo, there it is. So now you know the distance, so what's your answer? 7, 15, 23. The question, remember what the question was. Find the first three terms.
So you really only have to find 2, though.
Yeah, since I gave you the first one. You're welcome. Last thing with arithmetic sequence is this idea called sigma notation. Okay? It looks ugly. I get that. It looks terribly ugly. It's actually kind of slick. All right? Now, sigma is a Greek letter, in case you didn't know. That's sigma right there. Okay? This little Greek funky looking thing here. Okay? Now, what sigma notation does is it condenses your sequence. Okay? It condenses your sequence into like the terms that you have or the numbers you need to plug in for k, which is notated. I'm upside down here. Hold on. Which is notated from the bottom moving through the top. Okay? So if you look at your example over here, this bottom one says k equals 1. The top one says 12. So this is the sum. Basically what this means is the sum of a sequence from k's 1 through 12. Okay? Now, the trick here is that those k's are not the same as the places in the sequence. Okay? Everybody understand what I'm saying? Okay. Those k's do not mean you start with term 1 and that's in term 2, term 3, term 4 necessarily. In this case it does, not all does. The next one you'll see. Okay? The first term in the sequence is 6. Okay? Second one is 10, third one's 14, on and on. The way you figure out 6 being the first term is you take 1 and you plug it into whatever equation they give you right here, whatever expression. So 4 times 1 gives you 4, plus 2 gives you 6, which is denoted right through here. Since it's a sum, right, we're still doing series. Since we're still doing series, we're still trying to get the sums. So that's why this plus is here, which is this one. Now we move from a k of 1 up to a k of 2. So then you plug 2 into there. So 4 times 2 plus 2 gives you 10. Once you get that, you move up to 3. And you do 3. 4 times 3 gives you 12. Plus 2 gives you 14. And you do that all the way up until you get to your last number on sigma, which is 12. So 4 times 12, which is 48, plus 2 to give you 50. Okay? That's the parts. By no means, please don't freak out on me, by no means are you going to figure out every single, where's my finger? There it is. Every single term in between these dots and then add them all up. Okay? That's not what we're doing here. You do not have to go 4 times 1 plus 2 is 6. 4 times 2 plus 2 is 10. Get them all and then add them all together. Good Lord, what a waste of your and my time. No, I hope not. I think for the most part, either you can just get it off your homework or I'll give it to you on a test. You should not have to learn how to draw a sigma yet. Not until college. Okay? So, here's how this works. Everybody ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Sigma notation. Find the sum using 6k minus 1 when k is valued between 4 and 18. Alright? We're trying to find the sum. Okay, which means we're eventually going to need to find S sub n. Okay? That's what we are gaining, that's what we're gunning for right there, is S sub n. Okay? And S sub n, if you don't remember, is n parentheses a1 plus an all over 2. Bless you. Okay? That's the equation. That's what we're gunning for because that's what sigma means. It just means the sum. Everybody go on that page. Okay? All you need is love. But you need 3 things. You need n, you need a sub 1, you need a sub n. And we can get that from this. Once you get that from this, you plug it into this formula, wham, bam, you got the sum. Okay? Okay? Now, here's the trick. Here's the trick. Here's the part where sigma can be a little confusing. Okay? This case tells you how you start using it. So you don't start with 1, you start with what? 4. Okay? So to find your first term in the sequence, to find a sub 1, you're going to plug 4 into that equation. So 6 times 4 minus 1, which gives you an a sub 1 of 23. Okay? That's a sub 1. A sub n is going to be the last term of the sequence. So what k do we want to use for this one? 18. Same thing. Okay, 6 times 18 minus 1, which gives you 107. Now you're missing n. Okay. N is the number of terms in the sequence. How many is it? You're wrong. It's not 14. How many is it?
15.
It's 15.
I forgot what
Okay? It's 15. Okay? Because both, when you subtract, right? 18 minus 4. Okay? That gives you 14, but it doesn't count either one. Or it doesn't count one of them. Right? Okay, think about it. Okay? When you do 18 minus 4, that gives you all the terms except for that first one. Because it doesn't count it. It tells you the distance from 4 to 18, which is 14. But you got to count this one. Okay, make sense? So, the number of k's, you get the distance between your k, top and bottom, which is 14, add 1 to it. So n is 15. Okay?
Where did the 14 to 15?
14 comes from 18 minus 4.
So these are like two-step equations, but you figure out the a sub n, and then you sum the s sub n,
Right.
and then you have to figure out the distance, and then depending on what it's at.
Right. Because here, okay, just one time since we got time. Ready? Shh, hold up. One time since we got time. Okay? This term right here is 23, right? And that was when k was 4. Okay, I'm not writing these all out. K of 5, k is 6, k is 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. And when k is 18, we get 107. How many tick marks did I make? 15. A lot, right? Yeah, I made 15. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Because when you do 18 minus 4, think about this. Those of you that's last chance to make you not confused. When you do 18 minus 4, you start at 18, right? You do 18, you take away 4, and it gives you 14. But you got to count 18 in the sequence because it's part of the sequence, right?
Yeah.
Makes sense?
So it's 18 minus 1.
So it's 18 minus 4 plus 1. That will get you how many numbers are there. Okay?
So k equals 4 is not a 1.
No.
Oh.
K equals 4 is not like you don't start at like the fourth term.
Okay, so that's what
The k equals 4 is just your first k you plug in to get your first term. Okay.
So that number plugged in
It's
is
this, yeah. These k's are not relevant to where you are in the sequence. This k could be 30.
Okay.
I could do a k of 30 here, and plug that in to give you your first term in a sequence. Okay. Does that help? Great. So now you get everything you need. I'm going to tear something down yet today. You plug it all in. So how many terms do we have? 15. So we're trying to find the sum of them 15 terms. So S sub 15 equals 15 parentheses. The first one was 23. The last one is 107. And we always divide it by 2, which gives you S sub 15 of 975. Homework is going to be page 670, 1 through 13, due tomorrow.